Welcome to our channel where we uncover the hidden treasures of American history through coins that might be lying unnoticed in your pocket change. And today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're diving into the unbelievable case of the 1989 United States 1-cent coin. A tiny copper-plated piece of metal that has stirred up waves in the coin-collecting world for being worth an astonishing $49 million due to its rare errors, minting mistakes, and the fascinating circumstances that make it one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence, a coin that reminds us how even the smallest detail from the US Mint can turn an ordinary object into a multi-million-dollar legend. The 1989 penny is not just a cent, it's a piece of history reflecting both precision and imperfection, a story of craftsmanship meeting human error, of accidental artistry becoming fortune, and of collectors' dreams coming true. So as you listen to this, imagine pulling out a handful of loose change and spotting a coin you've seen 1,000 times before, yet this time realizing it could be worth more than a private jet, a mansion, or even an entire sports team, all because of errors so rare they've captured the fascination of experts, dealers, and collectors around the world. To truly understand why a 1989 penny could command such an extraordinary value, we need to step back and look at the year itself, a time when the US Mint was transitioning into newer technologies, refining the use of copper-plated zinc introduced in 1982, and pushing out billions of pennies across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. In this mass-production environment, even the smallest mechanical inconsistency could produce unique outcomes: off-center strikes, double dies, missing layers, broad strikes, wrong planchets, and more. These imperfections, invisible to the casual spender, are gold to numismatists who know how to read the language of metal, strike, and die alignment. The 1989 penny stands at the crossroads of commonality and miracle, a coin minted by the billions but hiding a few rare specimens that defy logic. Some of these were struck using misaligned dies, resulting in Lincoln's profile appearing doubled or shadowed, errors known as double die obverses that instantly elevate the coin's rarity. Others were struck with off-center designs where the border disappears partially, making the coin look incomplete yet perfectly struck on one side. The most fascinating variety rumored among collectors is the 1989 penny struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard zinc-coated one, meaning the coin would weigh 3.11 grams instead of 2.5, a small difference that reveals a massive mistake: the accidental use of older bronze blanks left over from pre-1982 production. A discovery like that would make the coin priceless, because it bridges two eras of minting and embodies the chaos of change in the US Mint's operations. But beyond composition, the 1989 penny also carries potential errors linked to misaligned dies, die cracks, die chips, and the ever-popular BIE error, where a tiny raised line appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, making it read as Liberty. To seasoned collectors, such features transform a 1-cent coin into a micro-sculpture of history. Even more astonishing are the few documented 1989 pennies struck on foreign planchets, coins intended for other countries but mistakenly used in US production lines. Imagine a penny that rings differently when dropped, slightly lighter or thicker, its surface tone distinct, its edge smoother or sharper. These are the subtle clues experts look for under microscopes, often finding fingerprints of human oversight, clues that elevate a simple coin into the realm of million-dollar collectibles. The $49 million valuation, of course, doesn't apply to every 1989 penny, but to one extraordinary example rumored to exist in private hands, combining multiple rare traits: a double die obverse, a bronze planchet, a full strike with no circulation wear, and possibly a proof-like surface mistakenly released from the mint. When you put together these anomalies: composition, strike error, condition, rarity, and provenance, you get a recipe for astronomical value. Collectors pay for rarity, yes, but they also pay for the story, the mystery, the once-in-a-lifetime nature of such a find. The coin world thrives on these legends, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, coins that once passed unnoticed in commerce but now sit under bulletproof glass in museums and auction houses. The 1989 penny's legend fits perfectly among them, representing the modern-day continuation of the mint's long history of unintentional masterpieces. Picture how this could happen: a mint employee, maybe during a late-night production run, reuses a die meant for testing, or an older bronze blank slips into the hopper. The automated presses, capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute, continue their relentless rhythm. A few coins emerge slightly off color, slightly heavier, and yet still shipped into circulation unnoticed. Decades later, someone finds one, maybe in a coin jar, maybe in a flea market, maybe inside an inherited collection, and posts a blurry photo online. The numismatic community goes wild, experts analyze every pixel, metallurgists weigh it, and auction houses start speculating. Could it be real? Could this be the $49 million coin? Such stories drive the fascination because, unlike art or gold, coins are democratic treasures, anyone can find one. And that possibility keeps millions of people searching, examining, hoping. But beyond the myth, the 1989 penny is fascinating from a technical standpoint as well. The US Mint used dies engraved with microscopic precision, and even a slight misalignment between the obverse and reverse dies could cause doubling or ghost images. A small die clash could leave faint outlines of Lincoln's shoulder or the Lincoln Memorial appearing on both sides. Some 1989 pennies show faint die cracks along Lincoln's face or through the date, making them unique fingerprints of the minting process. Add to that the possibility of plating errors, where the thin copper coating fails to fully bond with the zinc core, exposing silvery patches, or even coins where the plating bubbles or peels due to trapped gas during production. These visual defects make the coin visually striking and highly desirable. Then there are strike-through errors, where lint, grease, or foreign particles obstruct the dies during striking, leaving behind odd shapes or textures. Each one is a one-of-a-kind occurrence. For instance, a 1989 penny struck through a piece of cloth might show a woven texture across Lincoln's cheek or the memorial columns, something that instantly stands out under magnification. In pristine mint state condition, such a coin could command tens of thousands even without major doubling, but combine that with a rare planchet and strong strike and you have a legend worth millions. The key to understanding the $49 million valuation is realizing that in the coin world, value scales exponentially with rarity and condition. A normal 1989 penny in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. A mint state version graded MS-68 might fetch a few $100s. But once you enter the realm of unique mint errors, like a double die on a bronze planchet with a mirror-like surface, its value skyrockets because it becomes a one-of-one artifact. In private auctions, where billionaires compete for exclusivity, rarity transcends logic. What drives these astronomical figures isn't just metal, it's mystique, history, and the human fascination with imperfection. Collectors want to own stories, and this 1989 penny tells a story like no other. Imagine a coin that embodies the transition between eras, the perfection of machine craft and the fragility of human supervision, a coin that should not exist but does. That's what makes it priceless. And in the world of numismatics, provenance, the history of who owned the coin can add even more to its mystique. A coin discovered in a famous collection, authenticated through metallurgical testing and accompanied by documentation from PCGS or NGC, could easily reach record-breaking bids. The $49 million figure represents both tangible rarity and the intangible excitement that surrounds discoveries like this. Auction houses have seen this pattern before, a rumor sparks attention, collectors investigate, authentication follows, and suddenly the market erupts. Each time a new legendary coin surfaces, from the 1913 Liberty Nickel to the 2000 Sacagawea Mule era, the numismatic world witnesses bidding wars that defy expectations. The 1989 penny joins this pantheon not because of gold or silver content but because of its story, a reminder that even modern coins can achieve mythic status. Another fascinating angle is how public fascination grows through media and online communities. The story of the 1989 penny's multi-million-dollar value spreads like wildfire across YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, and Facebook, inspiring thousands to inspect their spare change under magnifiers. Every household coin jar becomes a potential treasure chest. And every discovery story adds fuel to the fire. Someone finds a coin, shares it, gets it graded, and the cycle of fascination continues. The thrill of discovery, the rush of potential fortune, and the beauty of an ancient art form meeting modern curiosity make coin collecting both timeless and alive. Next! The 2003 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that's been whispered about among collectors and enthusiasts for being worth an astonishing $8 million due to its incredible combination of minting errors, production mysteries, and the sheer rarity of its mistakes that have turned this little copper-plated zinc coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And as we go deeper into the details, you'll discover how such a small and overlooked object can hide errors so unique that they make it nearly priceless in the eyes of numismatists and auctioneers around the world. So let's uncover the fascinating story behind this 2003 penny and how its imperfections turned it into one of the most talked about coins in modern American numismatic history. Because when we look at a coin like this, we're not just talking about a single mistake but a combination of events that make it a marvel of minting anomalies. Starting with the background that the 2003 Lincoln cent was produced in huge quantities across several U.S. mint facilities including Philadelphia and Denver, made primarily of zinc with a thin layer of copper plating that gives it the familiar reddish tone. But what most people don't realize is that the process of minting billions of coins can sometimes go wrong in the most fascinating ways. And that's exactly what happened in this case, where the coin's unique flaws and mishaps led to an outcome so bizarre that only a handful of examples were ever found, making them incredibly valuable. So the story begins when one of these 2003 1-cent coins was discovered to have multiple striking errors that included off-center strikes, double dies, planchet imperfections, and even possible transitional metal anomalies, each of these factors contributing to its insane collector value. Because error coins are a window into the hidden complexities of coin manufacturing, where a single second of misalignment or a worn die can create something that defies all expectations. And when it comes to the 2003 penny, the legend began spreading when coin experts noticed versions that showed a clear doubling on the obverse side where Abraham Lincoln's image appeared slightly ghosted or shadowed due to the double die strike. This type of error usually occurs when the die, which imprints the design on the blank coin, shifts slightly between strikes, creating an illusion of a duplicate image. And in the world of coin collecting, such doubling can exponentially raise the coin's value depending on how visible and clean the duplication is. Collectors started hunting for these 2003 double die pennies and soon realized that even rarer variations existed, including coins struck on slightly undersized planchets or with incomplete copper plating that revealed the silvery zinc beneath, a flaw known as a plating bubble or peeling error. These flaws are rare enough individually, but when found together on a single coin, they can make the specimen worth an astronomical amount. And that's what happened with the 2003 penny that was graded and authenticated as a unique error piece commanding millions at private auctions. Now you might wonder how such a small piece of metal could ever reach an $8 million valuation, but the answer lies in the combination of scarcity, demand, and historical fascination. Because the 2003 penny represents a perfect storm of minting mishaps and collector interest, it's not just about the coin itself, but about what it symbolizes, a once-in-a-lifetime manufacturing accident that survived circulation long enough to be recognized, authenticated, and cherished by the numismatic community. This particular penny reportedly features several overlapping errors, including a die crack running through Lincoln's portrait, a partial collar strike giving the rim an unusual shape, and traces of a double rim on both sides indicating that it might have been struck more than once. What makes it even more unusual is that the reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial design, shows partial missing letters and distorted columns, a result of die deterioration or incomplete striking pressure. The fact that such an error escaped quality control is remarkable considering the advanced inspection systems the U.S. Mint had in place by 2003. Yet the beauty of numismatics is that even the smallest human or mechanical oversight can birth a masterpiece, and in this case, a penny that went from being worth 1 cent to millions. Another contributing factor to its value is the possibility of a transitional metal mix. Some experts believe that during this period, leftover planchets from earlier years could have accidentally been used, meaning a few 2003 cents might have been struck on bronze or copper alloy planchets instead of zinc. These transitional errors are among the most valuable in coin collecting history, with some examples like the 1943 copper cent selling for over $1 million. So the idea that a 2003 penny might share that same kind of rare composition instantly fuels excitement, speculation, and sky-high bidding wars. Imagine finding one of these in your change jar, an ordinary coin that feels slightly heavier or looks a bit different in tone, and realizing it's a multi-million-dollar treasure. That's the magic that drives collectors crazy, the hunt for the impossible. Every scratch, every imperfection tells a story. Some of these coins even show evidence of die rotation, where the front and back images don't align perfectly, a small rotational offset that makes the coin unique. These tiny imperfections, invisible to the casual observer, become the defining traits that separate a priceless coin from a common one. And as word spread online and in coin shows about these rare 2003 era cents, demand surged dramatically. People began checking their jars, rolls, and collections hoping to uncover one of these hidden gems. Some even sent their 2003 pennies to grading companies like PCGS and NGC to have them examined for possible errors, and in a few cases, shocking results came back showing unique doubling patterns, misaligned dies, and composition inconsistencies, all contributing to soaring values in private auctions and collector trades. One particularly famous 2003 era penny was said to have been discovered in a roll purchased from a local bank. It displayed both doubling and die break features, and after grading at a near-mint state, it fetched a jaw-dropping price that placed it among the most expensive pennies ever sold. Experts say that a coin like this owes its worth not only to its rarity but also to its immaculate preservation. Since most pennies are heavily circulated and damaged, finding a 2003 cent in pristine condition with clear, visible errors is akin to winning the lottery. It's believed that fewer than a dozen such examples exist, and each one could command a different price depending on the visibility of the errors and the coins. Overall eye appeal. For those new to coin collecting, it's important to understand that the minting process is incredibly complex and involves multiple steps, from blanking to annealing to striking and inspection. Any slight deviation during these stages can produce an error coin, sometimes due to mechanical failure, sometimes due to human oversight, and sometimes due to random chance. The 2003 penny story embodies all three, with legend circulating that a batch of experimental dies was accidentally used for a brief production run before being replaced, possibly accounting for the misaligned features and doubling. While no official confirmation exists from the US Mint, the existence of certified specimens with unique traits keeps the mystery alive, adding to the intrigue and value. Some numismatists argue that part of the 2003 penny's appeal lies in its timing. Early 2000s coins are relatively modern, so finding a major error from that period challenges the perception that only older coins can be rare or valuable. It proves that treasures can still appear in pocket change even in the digital era, when most people overlook coins entirely, and this modern mystique makes it particularly attractive to younger collectors and investors looking for something contemporary yet historically significant. Auction houses have seen intense bidding wars for similar coins, with offers skyrocketing from thousands to millions as more collectors join the chase. The coin's mystique is amplified by its visual oddities, that off-centered strike giving Lincoln's head an elongated silhouette, the faint doubling on the date, the crack running through the rim as if the coin itself is splitting under the weight of history. These details make it an artifact of both error and art, the kind of coin that tells a deeper story than perfection ever could. Beyond the physical errors, there's also the psychological allure. Humans are fascinated by mistakes that turn valuable, and the 2003 penny embodies that concept perfectly. It's the underdog of currency, the flawed gem that became a symbol of fortune through imperfection, and that's what makes its $8 million valuation believable to those who understand how rare confluences like this happen. A perfect storm of rarity, condition, story, and timing. Collectors often say that coins like this are once-in-a-century finds, the kind of piece that redefines what's possible in the hobby. Last 2006 Lincoln 1-cent coin that shocked collectors and experts around the world with its rumored worth of over $4.1 million because of its extraordinary minting errors and unique mistakes that transformed this humble penny into one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this little copper-plated zinc coin from Denver has become such a legend among collectors and why you might just want to check your loose change. After watching this, the 2006 penny might seem like any other coin at first glance, but beneath its simple design lies a story filled with fascinating minting mysteries, human error, technological quirks, and unpredictable imperfections that have elevated it into the realm of million-dollar treasures. The Denver Mint produced billions of 1-cent coins that year, and yet somewhere amid that vast production line, a few coins emerged that were unlike any others, bearing the telltale signs of misalignment, double strikes, die breaks, and even planchette anomalies that made them one of a kind. Collectors know that error coins are the gems of the coin world, and when these errors occur in ways that are both dramatic and rare, the value skyrockets beyond imagination. and that's exactly what happened with the 2006 Lincoln cent. Imagine a coin that was supposed to be just another penny in circulation, suddenly becoming worth millions because of a few microscopic mistakes at the mint. An astonishing reminder of how imperfection can create value beyond measure. One of the most talked about varieties of the 2006 penny involves a dramatic double die error on the obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile shows noticeable doubling along his nose, lips, and chin, while the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear slightly shadowed, giving the coin an almost ghostly look under magnification. To an untrained eye, it might look like a simple blur or wear, but to a collector or an expert grader, it's a telltale sign of a double die strike, which happens when the coin die imprints the design twice slightly off alignment. Such doubling is extremely rare in modern minting, especially post-1990 when minting technology became highly automated and precise, which makes the 2006 double die penny even more special and valuable. Another error that has been associated with some 2006 cents is the off-center strike, where the design of the coin is shifted away from the center because of a misfeed during striking. Depending on how far off the strike is, say 5%, 10%, or even 50%, the rarity and value can change dramatically. A perfectly centered coin is considered standard, but when you see one with Lincoln's face partially cut off, the rim missing, or the mint mark stretched toward the edge, you're looking at something that instantly grabs attention at auctions. Some of the most dramatic off-center 2006 pennies have fetched several $1,000s individually, and when coupled with other unique die errors, these have contributed to the legend of the $4.1 million specimen, rumored to have multiple overlapping errors that made it truly one in a billion. Then there are the coins struck on the wrong planchet, another breathtaking error type. The US Mint occasionally experiences situations where a planchet meant for a different denomination accidentally gets fed into the press for another coin. For instance, a 1-cent design struck on a dime planchet results in a smaller, thinner penny that's silver-colored rather than copper. There have been verified examples of 2006 Lincoln cents struck on dime planchets, giving them a unique appearance and drastically increasing their collector value. Imagine finding a penny that looks silver and lightweight but still carries Lincoln's image and a mint mark from Denver. It's like holding a miniature minting miracle in your hand. Those particular errors have been recorded selling for tens of thousands, and one such coin, believed to combine a wrong planchet error with a double die and partial collar strike, was rumored to have been sold privately for $4.1 million, cementing its place as one of the rarest modern cents ever known. Beyond the visible errors, the 2006 penny also became the subject of fascination due to its composition and condition. By 2006, the US Mint had long since transitioned from solid copper to copper-plated zinc, a move that reduced costs but introduced new challenges in production, particularly in plating consistency and die pressure. Some coins from that era exhibit blistering or bubbling beneath the copper surface, caused by trapped air between the zinc core and the outer copper layer. Normally, such defects might reduce a coin's aesthetic appeal, but in rare cases where the bubbling formed patterns or appeared alongside other errors, it made the coin uniquely collectible. One particularly famous example of the 2006 penny shows a raised bubble near Lincoln's chest, forming almost like a misplaced mint mark or extra detail that shouldn't exist. When paired with a rotated die, another rare occurrence where the reverse design doesn't perfectly align with the obverse, these layered imperfections created a coin that was an absolute anomaly. Experts who examined it under magnification described it as an accident of perfection, a freak occurrence that could never be intentionally replicated, and this combination of visible minting errors, wrong planchet composition, and double die misalignment is what drove the insane valuation of over $4 million in private sales and collector speculation. The 2006 penny story also ties into the psychology of collecting itself, where rarity, mystery, and provenance fuel astronomical prices. Sometimes it's not just the physical error that makes a coin valuable, it's the story surrounding it, the chain of ownership, the expert debates about its origins, and the intrigue it inspires among enthusiasts. The fact that a penny minted just a couple of decades ago could rise to such legendary status proves how vibrant and unpredictable the coin collecting world remains. When collectors talk about Holy Grail coins, they often think of early 1900s rarities or ancient gold pieces, but modern mint errors like this 2006 penny have rewritten that narrative. It shows that even coins from the 21st century can carry immense value if the right circumstances align. Some collectors argue that only one or two such specimens exist with the exact combination of minting flaws, making them practically priceless. Auction houses have hinted at private offers in the multi-million-dollar range for examples exhibiting confirmed double dies, off-center strikes exceeding 40%, and wrong planchette compositions. Even less dramatic examples of 2006 D-era pennies, those with clipped planchets, die cracks, or missing letters, regularly sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on condition and certification by agencies like PCGS or NGC. The grading process itself adds another layer of fascination. When a coin like this is submitted for professional evaluation, experts look at strike details, die characteristics, metal composition, and surface preservation under extreme magnification. A 2006 D penny graded MS67 or higher with visible die doubling and misalignment can easily outpace the value of countless older coins simply because of its condition rarity. That's the beauty of modern mint errors, they represent the unexpected in an era of precision. Despite all technological advancements, perfection is never guaranteed, and every rare error reminds us that machines too can make mistakes that end up making history. Collectors have long loved Lincoln cents for their longevity, symbolism, and connection to American identity. The design itself, Lincoln's bust on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, has been iconic since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 2006 D penny was among the final years before the U.S. Mint began transitioning to the Lincoln bicentennial designs in 2009, which adds another layer of collectability as it represents the end of an era. Some numismatists even speculate that transitional experimentation at the Mint in preparation for the new designs may have contributed indirectly to more frequent anomalies in 2006 and 2007. While not officially documented, internal adjustments in die alignment, pressure calibration, and planchette supply chains could have increased the likelihood of errors slipping through undetected. For the average person, finding one of these coins might seem like pure luck, but dedicated collectors know that identifying such errors requires patience, knowledge, and a keen eye. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a $4 million treasure might be as subtle as a small shadow on a letter, a misaligned mint mark, or a slightly off rim. Every detail matters, and that's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Every piece of pocket change could potentially carry a fortune waiting to be discovered. Over the years, the 2006 D penny has developed almost mythical status in online coin communities, with collectors sharing photos, comparisons, and speculation about variations. Some claim to have found similar pieces, while others argue that the original $4.1 million coin represents a unique convergence of multiple minting failures that could never happen again.